So did we read all of that there on that
Yeah,
page?
we're going to continue on, guys. We've been taking them. We just don't tell you every time, but takes breaks in between. This video is going to be in 3 parts.
Yeah.
But if you look at our clothing, we're in the same. We just make the complete video. We get up, stretch, eat different things, and then come back and finish it. But we're back.
All right.
And where we stopped at, we were talking about where
The reddish.
the expert witness said all the reddish and brown stains. There is no reddish and brown stains in black and white pictures, guys. It's black and white. So where does he get reddish and brown stains at? He gets that from Illusionary Truths, where he spoke it into history. And ever who's reading this report, if you're not looking at it real closely, you'll let it slip on by you, and you're thinking, oh, okay, the reddish and black. But you just read 3 pages up. There was 24 black and white pictures submitted.
23.
In fact, that's all he's got to go by is photographs. He hasn't the car. He has no blood samples. He has nothing except some black and white 1967 pictures. But they're going to tell you that Buford Pusser murdered his wife. All right, babe. Can you see that one there? The blood stains.
Oh,
Are we down there?
No, we just read the first one. So you want me to read the second one there? Okay.
Care.
That the blood stains depicted in the photographs of the crime scene reported all the significant blood stains associated with the event or events surrounding the death of or injuries to Pauline Pusser and Sheriff Buford Pusser.
All right.
So
You're
next
on that page there.
Number 5. Yep.
Number 5, that all the blood stains observed and commented upon were deposited essentially contemporaneous to the events surrounding the death or injuries of Pauline Pusser and Sheriff Pusser, that all the observed blood stains and blood stain patterns originated from Sheriff Pusser or Pauline Pusser. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Can you see that, baby?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
When compiling this report, I am faced with the following limitations.
The following limitations. Let's see what this expert witness says that the limitations he had was.
1, I did not attend the crime scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he wasn't even born probably in 1967. This young lad wasn't. I don't know, but he looks quite young. But he wasn't at the crime scene. Okay.
2, observations and conclusions are based on the photographic evidence alone.
All he's got to go by is photographs. Only thing he's got is 23 photographs. 23 black and white photographs. That's why I said a while ago that you could spill a milkshake in that car and mistake it for blood. Doesn't matter. She was killed in that car by an ambush.
Right. Number 3, it is not possible nor practical to report/describe every blood stain that may have been observed or noted during the investigation of a bloodshed event. Okay, do you want to go ahead and read number 4? The available crime scene photographs and related documentation were limited in quantity and quality to include documentation of the scenes on the road.
Okay, now you read this one here. Is it possible to report blood stains have been observed? The available crime scene photographs and related documentation were limited in quality
and
quantity to include documentation of the scene of the road. Documentation, remember, guys, they lost the original file. They've lost the original file. So not only are you limited in the quality and quantity of the photographs, you're also limited in the documentation of the scene and of the roads. The observation and opinions concerning the blood stain pattern analysis are derived from the examination of the crime scene photographs.
That's
the autopsy report of Pauline Pusser. You got something, baby?
No, you can't see exactly what's going on in a photograph. So,
and the state photographs are good, guys. If you were there and you say, well, what's this picture of? Well, I took that picture while I was standing at the driver's door, I was looking in. This was about 2 hours after she had been hauled to the hospital, and I was doing a crime scene investigation. And I took this picture from the trunk of the car. And I took photographs are great for court purposes to show a jury what you saw while you were there for an eyewitness. Photographs are great. It gives the jury and prosecutor and people, they get to see through the photograph what you saw through your own eyes.
What you were telling verbally.
Instead of you just sitting there telling them, well, there was blood everywhere. Oh, my Lord, there was blood out. You're sitting there telling them this photograph here is the blood that was on the hood.
Represents the blood on.
Yeah. And that's what you've got. To just take a photograph, like Sheila says, to just take a photograph and automatically act like you can solve a crime scene by looking at a black and white, especially if it was colored, it would be more believable because you would have red against anything else or brownish stains. There's no reddish or brown stains in these pictures. These are black and white because, and again, you don't know what's right. The observation and opinions concerning the bloodstain pattern analysis are derived from the examination of the crime scene photographs, the autopsy report of Pauline Pusser, and the statements made by TBI agent Warren Jones, Chief Deputy Jim Moffitt. Now, guys, I don't know about Warren Jones. They can say what they want. That's their guy. If they want to say they got a statement from Warren Jones, that's up to them. The funny thing is, show us that statement of Warren Jones's. Show us that statement of Warren Jones's. You know what I bet it's got at the bottom of it? I ain't seen it. Huh?
His signature.
I'll guarantee it does, don't you?
Well, if you noticed on the report from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, they had the letterhead, date, time, and all that, so that
why didn't we point that out then? Yeah. Well, they can go back in the last video. Yeah. They probably done noticed that. But
yeah,
guys, do you ever see a police report or anything of importance where somebody, a deed, a title to a car, a boat, a motorcycle, anything, it's going to have a signature at the bottom, Department of Kentucky Motor Vehicles, so-and-so to so-and-so, signed your seller or buyer, you're going to have signatures. So if there's a statement out there of Warren Jones, I'd like to see it. And if we do see it, I guarantee you there'll be a signature at the bottom. There'll probably be his letterhead at the top, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. More than likely, it'll have a date on it. But where they continue here and it says, statements made by TBI agent Warren Jones, Chief Deputy Jim Moffitt, and Sheriff Buford Pusser. They didn't get their observation or opinions from Buford Pusser's statement. They didn't get it from Jim Moffitt's statement. They might have got it from some kind of a type statement that they've looked at that somebody, Mr. Elam has told them, yeah, this is Jim Moffitt's statement. This is Buford Pusser's statement. Y'all can put it in your file if you want. You can have a copy. Oh, we don't even have that. Really? Well, you can have a copy of this one. Oh, yeah, we'll stick that in the file. And then everybody assumes I'm opining. But that's how some things can happen. It can happen like that. They're embarrassed because they've lost their file. They're embarrassed because they've lost all the physical evidence. Mike Elam offers them papers and says, here's a statement from Moffitt. Here's a statement from Buford. Oh, Lord, you got Buford's statement? Yeah. Here's Buford. Somebody gave it to me years ago. They're dead now, but you can have it. And then they slip that in the file and everybody says, oh, Buford's statement. Buford Pusser, Jim Moffitt, does not have a statement. If you'll read Jim Moffitt's statement, and Jim Moffitt's so-called statement says Buford Pusser killed his wife or beat his wife, did you guys not hear with your own ears at the
council meeting there in Tennessee there where they were going to talk about maybe closing down the Pusser Museum? His daughter stood up and said she never heard her dad say one bad thing about Buford Pusser.
I never heard my daddy ever say one bad word about Buford Pusser. Oh, he's going to tell somebody in a report after Buford's dead years later, Buford killed his wife or Buford beat his wife, but he didn't tell his wife and he didn't tell his children That Buford boy, he was a mean SOB. Man, he beat everybody. I never heard my daddy say the first bad word about Buford Pusser.
Exactly.
Now, guys, this is from this is from Michael Parsons. It says at the top, Jackson, Madison County Office of Medical Examiner. Oh, this is the medical examiner. Let's see who this is from. If this is from
Reveal.
Dr. Reveal, he's not the medical examiner. He's not the one that
Medical
done the
consultant.
medical examination on. Let's see what it says.
Yeah.
Are we been snookered again? Michael Parsons, attachment.
See your heading there, though. Look at your symbols.
Office of Medical Examiner, Jackson, Madison County. Where was Pauline's body taken to? If any of you know, please put it in the comments. I was thinking she was taken to Memphis, or she might have been taken to Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's any different, please let us know. Guys, you got to look at every line. You got to look at every, thank you, babe. You got to look at every seal. You got to look at every, when people's been not honest with you, they tend to make mistakes, and you have to try to find them yourself. Why is he making this report instead of the pathologist, Dr. whatever her name was? And Messer was the anthropologist. Let's see what it says.
Okay.
July the 31st, 2023, to whom it may concern, in July, let me make that a little bit bigger, baby.
In June.
I'll let you, okay, I'm going to let you read it if you don't care. I
Okay.
can, but my eyes are.
Okay. In June of 2023, I was asked to review evidence regarding the homicide of Pauline Pusser on August the 12th, 1967. In my capacity as the TBI medical consultant, I have reviewed the photographs taken post-mortem of the body of Pauline Pusser, the medical examiner's report, and related notes by Dr. Harry Peeler. Photographs of the vehicle in which the body was found, Sheriff Pusser's statement, and the statement from Sheriff Pusser's Chief Deputy Jim Moffitt taken on March 6, 1976.
Now, if you'll notice, that's underlined. So he can say he's reviewing anything else he wants to. But in our opinion, he's not reviewing. He's not looking at Sheriff Buford Pusser's statement. And he's certainly not looking at Sheriff Pusser's Chief Deputy Jim Moffitt's statement on March the 6th of 1976. Why would Jim Moffitt, 2 years after Buford Pusser's dead, come out and give a statement? The investigation's over with. They're no longer investigating Pauline Pusser's death because Buford's dead now. But they say, hey, let's go get a statement from. Didn't happen, guys. Somebody wrote this up later on also. I have over 20 years of experience as an emergency medical physician and a medical examiner for the past 15 years. Based on this experience, as well as my medical training and education, it is my opinion that the events did not occur as described by Sheriff Buford Pusser in his official statement. He doesn't have a statement, much less an official statement, to TBI agents. I base my opinion on a reasonable degree of medical certainty that Pauline Pusser was more than likely than not shot outside the vehicle and then placed inside the vehicle. Now, guys, let's go back up here. He has 20 years of experience as an emergency medical physician. He's a doctor. And as a medical examiner for 15 years. So he knows how to do an autopsy. He knows how to do a medical exam after life has expired. A doctor, medical examiner. Based on this experience, as well as my training and education. Well, your training and education is in medical examination and medicine, emergency medicine physician. Based on my medical training and education. It doesn't say based on my medical training and education in forensics or crime scene investigations. It doesn't say that. So now I could be wrong, and I'm speculating and I'm opining like I tend to do. If you think I'm wrong, put it in the comments. I could be, but I think we're getting ready to be hoodwinked. I think we're getting hornswoggled. I think we're getting the old switcheroo. I don't think we're getting the proper expert's opinion that would be required in a court or even in an indictment. I think a grand jury would even ask for more than this of Dr. Reveal, where he opines. He can give an opinion if he wants to about whether somebody's got tonsillitis or whether somebody died from a knife wound or a gunshot. He's got training in both of those. I base my opinion, only an opinion, no proof, no evidence, no, only speculation, his opinion. I give my opinion that I'm the best looking fella in the state of Kentucky. That's my opinion. You guys opine with me? Of course you don't. I'm the third best looking. There's a couple better.
I agree with you.
No, you don't.
Yes,
That's okay. Don't do that. Tell the truth always. Truth with proof. Now they're gonna make you prove it. Guys, I'm sorry. We got off topic. We got off topic, but I'm trying to let you see how silly this here sounds. If you don't look at it, if the lay person just looks at this, reads it and goes on, you think, oh, okay, well, that doctor, he's got that DR period in front of his name. Smart man. Well, he probably is when it comes to emergency medicine or an ME's job. I base my opinion on a reasonable degree of medical certainty. What degree of medical certainty? She's dead. She's dead. What degree of medical certainty that Miss Pauline Pusser was more likely than not shot outside the vehicle and then placed inside the vehicle? Now, he's not going to tell us here in this report. I haven't seen anything. If you all do, please share it. That's all it says. It doesn't say how.
Right.
I declare this degree of medical certainty from the fact that we found 4 gallons of blood on New Hope Road, 60 feet from where the vehicle was, or 150 feet from where the empty shell casings was, or where her scalp was. We found 2 gallons of blood on up the road a half a mile. We found that wasn't found, guys. There's nothing like that found other than what blew out the window. Her scalp blew out the window when they were shooting in the car driving by.
Right.
Don't believe everything you read or everything somebody, they wrote this into history. This right here, there it is at the bottom.
Yeah.
This right, you can't see me pointing, but that signature, look at that signature. Now there's your doctor's writing. That's the way I write. That's the way I write. His name's Michael Revelle, but that is what the TBI, Mike Parsons, right there at the top of the page, that is what he was looking for. That's what he said. Hey, doc, here's what we need. I need something in a report that says that, and there's what he got. There's your expert witness that guarantees 100% you're going to be satisfied, or I'll give your money back to you. How much Dr. Reveal get paid for this from Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, state of Tennessee? How much did he get? Did he do it for free just to get his name in these books? Because his name's also in this book down here I had a while ago of Oakley D. Baldwin. Let's go on. Miss Pauline was more likely than not placed inside the vehicle. The cranial trauma seen in the photographs does not match the interior photographs of the vehicle. Guys, we're comparing apples and oranges. We're comparing photographs of her head to photographs of the car. We just talked about black and white photographs. I wonder if the photographs that he's got of her, see, we haven't seen them. The autopsy, not the autopsy, but did Dr. Pillar have any I didn't see anything listed up there that said photographs from Dr. Pillar's office. If he did, were they in black and white or were they in color? Guys, how do you compare? How do you come up with an opinion like this from looking at photographs from a body and photographs from a car? Additionally, the notation of gunpowder residue on Miss Pauline Pusser's chin, as described in Dr. Pillar's notes, is also inconsistent with the reported events suggested a close range shot, then described. I don't know if y'all have seen Dr. Pillar's report or not. Look at it real closely. If it's the one Sheila and I've seen online, it's very disturbing. It seems to be altered. It seems to be white out. It seems to be other things as people wrote over his report.
The handwriting, if I remember correctly, didn't seem to match.
Why would you write over the original report in your writing to make it seem like it's tied in? Is what it seems like to me. It's very confusing, very, in my opinion, deceiving. That's just me talking. Who am I? Pillar's report noted a single entrance wound, and there is no documentation of a second wound. Guys, Dr. Pillar, we don't know if he took an x-ray of her or not. She's been in an ambush. She's been shot and killed. There is an apparent blood splatter on the hood outside the vehicle, and unfortunately, forensic at the time would not have allowed it to be determined if it belonged to Miss Pusser or Sheriff Buford Pusser. Well, Doc, you're wrong. You're wrong, sir. There's no better proof than physical evidence, documentation, photographs. We've seen a document, either it's falsified, either the TBI has falsified the FBI report, where the report says inconclusive. He says that there's no forensic at the time. They did do forensics on the blood. They sent the blood samples off to the FBI. And the FBI said that certain swabs on the windshield and on the hood were inconclusive.
Yep.
Some of them was O positive, Buford's blood. Some of them was A positive, Pauline's blood. Some of them, Sheila and I feel, were mixed. And that's why they couldn't do the test. But they did forensic test on the blood samples that was sent to the FBI. So he says here, there is apparent blood splatter on the hood outside the vehicle. And unfortunately, forensic at the time would not have allowed it to determine if it belonged to Miss Pusser or Sheriff Pusser. Then he says,
regardless,
forget forensic. He's thinking now, wait a minute, there's an FBI test that was done. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, regardless, this evidence does not match the reported events per Sheriff Pusser. What events, Sheriff Pusser? Eddie Bond's video, newspaper interviews? Surely he's not referring to a 4-page typewritten report with no name, no letterhead, no witness, no signature of Buford Pusser. Surely he's not a doctor of his skill, of his intelligence, of his character. Surely he's not relying on a 3.5-page report somebody's typewritten up. You know, these Rambos, these computer Rambos, keyboard Rambos, I feel you. But they can sit there at these computers and type up. Surely this educated doctor is not relying on something that somebody's typed up on a 1960s typewriter as Buford's report with no signature, with no, I know that can't be true. That can't be, regardless of what everything else turns out, according to Buford Pusser's report. Buford Pusser don't have a report except on Eddie Bonds and the newspapers. Those reports, if he did have a report, if he did have a statement, a signed statement, it would have been lost in the original file that the TBI's been looking for since 1976. Based on these findings, again, is my expert medical opinion. Opinion. You guys have an opinion about this case? That's all this man's got. Is his opinion worth more than our opinion? When he's going by a statement that's got no signature, that's got no date, no letterhead, that the events did not occur as noted in the official TBI case file. Wow. Okay, he says that the events did not occur as noted in the original, the official, the
Okay.
official.
I was gonna say, wait.
Oh, yeah. The official TBI case file. Where's the original case file, Dr. Ravel? Where's the original case file? Not a duplicate, not a copy, not a something we may have got from Warren, from Sloan later on, a copy of a file. Where's the original file that Warren Jones had? His daughter, a while back on a Facebook post, his daughter posted that she had just read her father's original file. They can't find a file, but the daughter comes on Facebook and said she just read her dad's original file.
Mm-hmm.
Did Mr. Parsons jump in his airplane and take off and ask her, we want that file back? That belongs to the TBI. We've been looking for that file since 1976. Certainly the cause of death remains cranial trauma. No poop. Secondary to ballistic injury, and the manner of death remains a homicide. Wow. 58 years later, and we know the same thing. Dr. Pillar, huh?
Still the same thing, a homicide.
It's what Dr. Pillar told us back August of 1967. Pauline Pusser, she's 33 years old. She's been shot. She's killed by somebody else, not herself. She's a homicide. Mm-hmm. And she's been killed by a gun, a firearm. Homicide. However, the evidence in this case suggests an alternative finding. Alternative finding.
Right.
I would be happy to discuss and explain all my findings upon request. I'm so hoping someday when somebody's sued, when somebody has been sued civilly, because it's never going to go to criminal court, it's going to take a civil case, and it's going to take a GoFundMe page beyond belief that all of us can contribute to represent ever who gets sued. A GoFundMe page that's unbelievably high, so they can be expert witnesses on top of expert witnesses on top of expert witnesses to come in there and show how these 2 or 3 so-called experts, see if they compare with these guys. They may come in there and say, yeah, we agree with everything Dr. Ravel said. I don't think so. I don't believe they will. They can come in there and say, we agree with everything Corey Latham said. I don't believe they will. Not my thoughts, but how you prove that is to get a lawsuit, get all kinds of funding, not for an individual, but for lawyers to be compensated and expert witnesses. And then you put your jurors down there and you let your jurors hear, rather than malarkey, rather than illusionary truth, you let them see truth with proof. And that's how this case is going to be solved one day, and how these so-called witnesses, expert witnesses, are either going to be acknowledged and say, yep, they knew what they was talking about, they were right, or, and Mr. Davison and Mr. Roush and Mr. Parsons, or is it going to come back and the jury's going to say, we can't believe we're even here. We can't believe this is even a case. We can't believe that. Guys, we're 31 minutes into this video. So you've either watched, this is either the third video you're watching, or you've watched 2 and we've split the difference. That's up to Sheila. I'll let her, she takes care of all that.
Yeah.
Guys, once again, we don't mean to be, I know it don't seem like it. I know you're thinking, well, I read a thing this morning and I felt,
you okay?
I felt, yeah, good. Listen to this. This is, is this God speaking to us? Is this?
He speaks to us in different
Don't
ways.
let your lips Don't let your lips and your life preach two different messages.
I like that.
I hate,
Wow, I like
I
that.
would hate for that to be me. And I wonder, I know that I sound sometimes upset or I'm not upset, guys. I get discouraged. I get hurt. I cannot believe as a police officer of 40 years that there's other police officers out here, younger, I'm old, younger cops. What's it become? And prosecutors. Now I've dealt with prosecutors. I've seen things with prosecutors. But and again, this Buford Pusser case, this is a good story. Eventually one day we're gonna add on to the Buford Pusser case and you may understand. Buford Pusser, the Buford Pusser case had a narrative and they reached their narrative. They done this for Mike Elam. Mike Elam and Oakley Baldwin are laughing their butts off. They have to be. Oakley Baldwin's wrote 3 books now. He's wrote 3 books. Mike Elam's writing on his second one. He can't wait to get it out because Oakley's beating them. They're like 2 little first graders.
They're competitive.
Competing against each other. Now they've fallen out, and it just. But the loser here is the Pusser family. What, babe?
The Pusser family. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that's the losers. And somewhere along the way, we've lost sight of that, or some people have. They've lost sight that these people didn't have the common decency to notify the grandchildren, we're going to dig your grandmother up. Yeah. And their moms and dads' ashes were buried on top of their mother's
because
chest.
That was their last wish.
That was their last wish.
To be placed there with their mother. So
the things that the uncle said about his nephew and nieces, the things that people have been, that's brought out, the people that we've seen, they want to make Buford Pusser, a man that was never convicted of a crime in his life, they want to convict him of murder. And he's done no proof to that, but there's been other people that we've watched. One man says that a bullet would be is not worth wasting a casing. I don't want to say the B word, probably not worth being de-lifed. His nephew's not worth being de-lifed. A man said that.
It's horrible.
About his nephew. I told him to get out of my house. You're leaving, and you're leaving today. Another man says he's seen a BA on Buford where he had a 18 alcohol content, but it's not there. It's never been there. It never will be there. It's not in the FBI report. It's not in a police report. He made that up. It's imaginary. They learned that from Mike Elam, or Mike Elam learned it from him. If you'll go through these stories and just listen to the stories that people's made up, and then if you listen to these agents, especially with Ann Henderson, and how they lead and how they just, and some people just talk. And as we get older, we're just glad to have somebody to talk to, a companion, and we just open up. And we've found a new best friend. It feels so good just to confide and tell a story. Do we add on to our story? Are we manipulated sometimes and we make it bigger than it is just to?
She felt important.
She felt important. Is everything she said the truth? I don't know. She knows. We would love, if there's a person out there we would love to interview, she wouldn't. Surely she wouldn't, but we would love to talk to Ann and let her tell how she feels now. I figured Tammy Johnson and Teresa Smith would be so upset over Parsons. They ask them, are you taping us? No.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. Yeah. Okay. And they spill their guts about their family all their life. In the mob, madams, everything in the world, but yet they say there's no mob. But yet they sit there and talk about the mob. They're not mad at Parsons over that. They was wanting to get into this report. They made history. It's my opinion. Again, guys, what do I know? I was a police officer for 40 years. and a Marine prior to that, what do I know? If everybody else can opine, if everybody else can make up rumors, if everybody else can make up hearsay, and mostly from dead people, I guess I can give my opinion with 40 years of experience. This man said he was a medical examiner for 15. He's been a doctor for 20.
Mhm.
I top him by 20 years as a police officer. Surely I learned something in 40 years. I'll tell you what I learned in the Marine Corps, more important than police work. I learned to recognize BS. BS. And what I saw on that stage, what I saw at that news conference, what I see in these reports, what I see in this entire investigation is BS. I see no criminal charges against Mike Elam or Ricky Plunk. That's the only two that's committed a crime here, other than maybe some false reporting. Maybe there's some false reporting going on or false records of Buford Pussers. Where'd they come from? If the file's missing, where'd those come from? TBI. Couldn't you track down where those come from, maybe? Where did Jim Moffitt and Buford Pusser's statements come from? Did you all get them from somebody that typed them up just so they could write a book? Where'd they come from? Wouldn't Warren Jones was no more professional than that? Sloan was no more professional than to get a statement from somebody and then not say, here, sign this for me. You could put your John Henry on this. They were no more professional than that.
Mhm.
The TBI is no more professional than to take statements from witnesses, from suspects, from perps, and not make them sign and date their statement, not make somebody else witness it. They're no more professional. Guys, for you real good investigators out there, look at these. Sheila, before we went to bed this morning, we was up all night on it.
Oof.
Look at me and Sheila sitting here in the car like Pauline and Buford.
Mhm.
How'd she get two bullet holes in the back of her head? We know how she got one in the side of her head
Right.
because they pulled up beside of her and shot. How'd she get two bullet holes in the back of her head or even in the front?
Mhm.
Dr. What's his name? Pillar.
Mhm.
Dr. Pillar didn't do a complete autopsy or examination. She shot in the head. He says she shot front to back. If he said that, if you can believe the report, I have a problem trusting with these other reports that come up bogus. I have a problem trusting anything they say. And they've lost the other evidence. So if you lost the other evidence, would you really have a problem manipulating the evidence that you've got in order to reach a means to an end? You would hope not. You would hope not. But seeing what I've seen and hearing what I'm hearing, I'm sorry. I don't trust them. I don't trust them three gentlemen on the stage that day. I don't trust these so-called experts. I don't trust half the people that I trust. Mr. Donald Smith, me and Sheila do, the ambulance driver.
Mhm.
That's the only person that we found that
You couldn't
was
say.
truthful.
Mhm.
Unless I'm overlooking somebody, that's the only one that was truthful in his statement that couldn't be manipulated.
Yeah.
Hillman, maybe Phyllis. Phyllis tried to tell that she'd been told that they were leaving on vacation that day.
Because she said, and that's a fact.
And that's a fact. And he said, well, was you there? Parsons jumped on her. Was you there? And she said, well, no, I wasn't there. Well, she wasn't there, but Diane was. And Diane was woken up and told by Pauline, I'm going with Buford on a complaint. Diane went to live with Phyllis for a while. I don't know if they run her off or why she ever left there, but she left there too. Like, well, it don't matter. I
Yeah.
mention names. Guys, this is a sad story. We're gonna end it here.
Yep.
This is a sad story, and Hey, that's all I got.
All righty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. All right. Guys, we hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye. God bless.